glorious day to you, my friends. Atara anahakita atahatita harta. It is the 4th of July. You already know the title. Arahatsesiara ichahatarata. Success of your soul. Success of manifestations. Whatever you wish to be successful in. Besides, from the universe, our inner being, and God and the universe, see in you, in each of us, that we are 100% successful in everything that we do. Because the law of attraction, and this is what we're going to talk about today, the law of attraction, but utilizing it for what we want to create, what we want to attract to us, what we want to bring forth as a human, as this humanness that we all have. How do we do it? How do we see success as a human? The law of attraction is simple. What you give out to the universe is what you get back. Whether it's you see it as a mirror, simply reflecting what you do, how you shine. Yes, or whatever energetic pattern that we send out. We're human. We're here in this density, in this 3D. We have incarnated with a purpose. Besides the generic essence, the generic meaning that Abraham Hicks talks about is why we incarnated. To experience this perfect contrast, perfect balance of contrast, to bring life beyond what it has been before. This meaning of life, this meaning of existence beyond what it has been before. Even though when we're in our humanness, we don't necessarily see it. Sometimes some of us are just struggling to get by day. Some believe that they're successful. Excellent. Some want to be successful. I'm here in Ellison Park. They wanted some water, so we got the creek in the background. Kiskahatata atar arta Ellen's Creek. Iskanahati karahati. Yes, it had a name before Mr. Allen showed up around here, but that's okay. Anyway, Kisha akatar anahasi itata Arundequoit Creek. Yeah, there we go. Which is a French name for the Haudenosaunee, the 5 tribes. And in one sense, Iroquois is one of the tribes, but it's all of the tribes. It's the Iroquois Confederacy. It is the Haudenosaunee. Council of the Fires. This foundation, this success, feeding success. There is an indigenous saying. There's a young adult talking to his grandfather, and the grandson is saying, "Grandfather, there are 2 wolves that are constantly fighting in my soul and in my heart. Which one is going to win?" And the grandfather said, "The one that you feed." And with that, this feeding of success. I've had many conversations over the past week about the law of attraction, about the mindset, about really what is it that our mind is causing our body to do, whether it's intentional or unintentional. And this feeding of success is about being conscious of what our mind is thinking, being conscious about what our vibration is. What we give out to the universe is what we get back. We are always 100% successful. So as soon as our mind and our knowing understand that, the more we can focus our mind on being more positive, of having, okay, thank you. I saw a license plate earlier. I was wondering how they were going to work that in. It's just like, okay, I turn it over to you guys. FBS, okay, a foundation of bliss and satisfaction. Abraham Hicks simply says that when we're experiencing the contrast, that our inner being, which contrast can be, the fear, the guilt, the shame, the grief, frustration, anger, worry. I was wondering how it's the 4th of July in the United States, which is Independence Day. So fireworks are being celebrated. And I was really curious as to when the fireworks were going to confirm what they're talking about. And so they waited for the last blocker to be said. If we feed fear, we're feeding the fear. We're feeding that negativity, that downward spiral. If we're feeding the grief, we all feel what we feel, which is okay. When we tell ourselves, I'm not supposed to feel this fear, I'm not supposed to feel this grief, I'm not supposed to feel these overwhelming emotions. When we tell us that we're not supposed to feel it, that continues the negative spiral. That's our judgment on ourselves. We are our worst judges. And this belief system that it should be one way or another way is what's keeping us from this foundation of bliss and satisfaction, which is not feeding the success of our soul. It's not feeding the success of our manifestations, of our business, our job, our life. Athletes have focus. Successful athletes, champion athletes, focus. They practice. Every practice has a purpose. And for seasonal athletes, it's what's the goal at the end of the season? And there is, if it's racing, then here's my A race. Here are my goals, setting goals for the season. And every workout has a purpose. In an Ironman, feeding, drinking, eating, and consuming electrolytes is so important. Doing it with a plan and understanding one's body is feeding the success of the race, of the Ironman. Kateya nito kuruta urhausi ita ata arahana ata kurata. In our lives, how do we feed this success? Abraham Hicks simply says, breathe. If Abraham Hicks loves to use the magic wand analogy, that when we're manifesting, you take out a magic wand, you tell the universe what it is that you wish to create or attract to you. And when this magic wand brings us joy, when we dream about our manifestations, when we tell the universe, that vibration is what's being sent back, and it's instantaneously put in our vortex. And Abraham Hicks says, when you're experiencing the contrast, the frustration that hasn't come yet, or I'm experiencing this grief, or whatever it is, put down that magic wand, because every thought that we have is a magic wand. Where our thoughts go, our energy goes. And that's what we're attracting. And so you put down this magic wand of frustration and you pick up any other magic wand that's going to bring us joy, that bliss, and satisfaction, satiety. And the more we practice it, the more we will be feeding the success. It sounds simple enough. And if you listen to Abraham Hicks, it is so simple. While you're listening to her, Esther Hicks, channel Abraham, that she's putting down. You put down your magic wands of frustration. You put down the thoughts of frustration and you align with the thoughts of joy. The thoughts of what brings you joy and what brings you satisfaction. Because you're aligning with this law of attraction at this point. Kahana outa, chito rateka, saya arwana ahutota, shata kanata itita hatara hatita. Besides the mindset or thinking things like this, how can we feed? Nato urita asahanatuka shahra. Making a vision board. If it brings you joy to make a vision board of what you wish to create, how you want to see your life, making a vision board and looking at it brings you joy. And if it brings you dissatisfaction, then put it in a closet for a little bit until it brings you joy again, and then bring it out. Journaling. Or some people believe in affirmations. Abraham Hicks isn't a big fan of affirmations. If it's a part of your practice, if it raises your vibration, meditation, yoga, running, does not matter. What brings out your joy, how you feel fulfilled, how you feel this satisfaction, this completeness, or that everything's okay. It does not matter which one is working for you. That's what Abraham Hicks is talking about. Over time, of the gentle tuning of our vibration, we will learn and reinforce what is working and what is not working. And we will not do the things that are not working. And we will do more of the things that are working. It's as simple as that. If one wants to be a champion athlete, there's a lot of practice. There's getting a coach. There are drills. Every workout has a purpose. How one keeps oneself motivated to get it. If your motivation is all the hardware and the medals and the trophies, excellent, then get them. I have plenty of hardware. It does not matter. It does not matter anymore. An Ironman on the big hills when everybody else is suffering up the hill and they've got these faces of frustration and pain, I'm smiling and laughing and I ride by them and I go, look at you, you're doing it. Oh my goodness, yes. And somebody else, I read their energy and say what comes to mind. And I trust the universe. And sometimes it's, hey, remember, we paid for this. Are we having fun yet? Isn't this a beautiful ride? It doesn't matter what it is. Our mind, pain exists in the mind. Everything exists in the mind. But how we feed our soul, how we feed our manifestations, how we feed our belief system. Abraham Hicks says that our belief system is simply consistent thoughts. That's it. And our thoughts become words, and our words become actions. Simple. And if we catch ourselves in a negative mindset or a contrasting mindset, we can cause more contrast by getting upset at ourselves with the contrast that we're experiencing and that we're thinking. Or we can find harmony within. We can take a moment to breathe. If we need to acknowledge that thought, yep, I just had that thought. I'm not going to fight it, because the fighting it is giving it energy and attracting more of it to ourselves. That's the thing. Whether it's negative entities to energy workers, the universe will only send you what you can handle. If we're experiencing negativity and we don't want to experience the negativity, well, focus on the positivity. Thank you. Beach mantras, the seed mantras of each of our chakras. During the Shine series, the Earth Star chakra, they said to use mum, ma, and okay? Which is, ma is, in Sanskrit, it's this respect for the divine feminine, the respect of the mothers, Mother Earth. What makes more sense? Atukarana atukurata. Of Muladhara, the root chakra, lam. And it's la, gratitude, and embodying, and satisfying. And when we're chanting not only the vibration of the mantra, we're chanting the sounds and the meaning of the sounds, and we're also chanting how we think it is. If we just chant the mantra and just the syllables and allow the universe to do all the work, then we're not attaching our meaning to any of it. And we're allowing the mantra to work successfully. If meditation is causing frustration, don't meditate. Do anything else that brings out your joy, that is satisfying. And Abraham Hicks talks about, if you can't satisfy abundance, or if you can't master abundance, maybe master satisfaction. I'm okay with that result. I'm okay with my effort that I put in. I'm okay with it. Our quest for perfection just invites in judgment instead of allowing it to be what it is and allowing ourselves to be who we are. At the beginning, it's acknowledging and accepting our humanness. As we go on, it's, yes, I am successful in everything that I'm creating. And that I understand that I've created this situation. I've created this. And if we don't want to create it, maybe draw a picture or write down what it is that we wish to create. I do not wish to do this anymore. And when we're speaking with somebody, if we have this, we're human. I have this need to say something. It's about you. And it might be about our need to change somebody. I need to say this. I need to interrupt you in what you're saying about you because I've stopped listening to you. I need to interrupt you and I need to say this. You've made it about you. Simple. And if we're listening, boom. And if we're listening, boom. And if we try to understand what they're saying, and if we try to understand what they're saying, there's so many times that when we're expressing ourselves, when I'm listening to somebody, sometimes they don't like how I respond. I wait for them to ask, what do you think? And sometimes they don't like it. I'm listening for discord in their voice. I'm listening not for right and wrong. I'm listening for how they have a disconnect with their inner being. I listen for how their thoughts and their belief systems are in conflict with each other, and how they receive the feedback. That's all I'm doing. It's all I ever do. If I find myself needing to speak, I breathe. Because I know it's about me. Yep. Flow. How do we feed? How do we feed the success? Besides picking up a magic wand that we like. This is all what self-soothing is about. Whether it's I'm going to self-soothe with watching Netflix or TV, or I'm going to self-soothe with my favorite comfort food. Water is life, my friends. Or I'm going to self-soothe with meditation music, or dance music, or whatever it is that brings out your joy, that helps you self-soothe. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. The conflict that we have inside our heart and the conflict that we have inside our head, whether it's drugs, alcohol, it doesn't matter what it is. If we're self-soothing, we're self-soothing. If we need to self-soothe, then maybe look at it. Yes, I need to self-soothe right now. And if I know I'm judging myself for the habits that I'm choosing, well, what are healthier habits? And maybe I don't know them. Like, speak with a nutritionist about feeding the body for success. Feeding, and how can we feed our mind for success? That's what practice is all about, whether it's practice in yoga. The first Yoga Sutra, 1.1, now begins practice discipline of yoga. You can call it discipline, you can call it focus, you can call it practice. The more we practice, and if we want to be a top chef, we're going to practice at cooking and creating and understanding how the components of a meal fit together, or a dish, or whatever. And we understand acidity, savoriness. We understand how the chemicals worked together. It's the same thing with this universe, this humanity. Are we building a foundation of bliss, joy? And sometimes this bliss and joy, these ideas, does it feel good to you? That's all those two things are. And satisfaction. Are you okay with the result of how it turned out? That's all it is. In a foundation of gratitude. So we stopped at lam. So lam for Vasundhara, the earth star chakra, mam. For Muladhara, the root chakra, lam, gratitude. For Svadhisthana, or Swadhisthana, the sacral chakra, where the self is established, vam, va, essence, your essence of self, our emotions, the flow of the water, vam. The meaning of this whole thing. If someone claims that we're too emotional, or if our emotions are overwhelming, vam, our essence, we're attaching too much meaning to it. We feel the meaning of it. That hurt. What you said hurt. Well, maybe it did. But we made it about us. Instead of listening, they said it, but we received the hurt. They gave the invitation for hurt, but we picked it up off this coffee table of life. If we listen to what they say, could you repeat that? Instead of feeling the hurt, can you repeat that, please? Because that holds up a mirror to them about what they said. And maybe they'll realize what they said. Who knows? Who knows? But you're not immediately picking up the pain and the hurt of that, this emotional distress of it. Vam, Ram, for Manipura, the solar plexus chakra. Joy, pleasure. But it's also intention. Katinarata tatarya sonata. For anahata, the heart. Niaraha kachiara watohurto. Yam. Yam means so much. Niaraskotor. I'm embodying the love of the universe. I'm embodying that. Ya. Ya is also a suffix. That I'm embodying it. But it's the yamas and the niyamas are about how I interact out there and how I interact in here. And with that and with this. That. In Vishuddha, the purest, the throat chakra, hum. Ha. Our breath out. Which is also I am. I am that I am. I am good enough. I am good enough. Just the way I am. I would like to bring more to me. Hum. I am. As I breathe, what I send out to the universe. Hum. Iskuna hatiya tatata om niyarata of Anya, Agnya, Agya. Does not matter. Utaryata, the third eye, our intuition. Om. Illusion, separation. Gyatanarayarata. Om. Om. From the Gayatri. Om Bur Buvra Svaha. Om created everything, and it created the light, the meaning of the light. It created the thing, the meaning of the thing, and Svaha, us, our identity, the individual self, the self, or Svaha, Sa, Va, Ha, Prana, Pranava, the breath, life, the meaning of life, the understanding of the meaning of life. It's all in here. But this Om is the myth buster, karma buster. Om. At the beginning, we're just, somebody said, it's this awesome sound. Okay, and we start chanting Om because somebody else told us we're supposed to. And then if we chant Om, and practice chanting Om, maybe the wisdom of Om will share itself with us. And Sahasrara, the crown chakra, Om, or some like to use Aum, which is simply Om stretched into its three sound components. Ah for the heart, Oo for the root, and for the embodiment, the satisfaction. Niaratsukohatara, isahatati achahana aukohatara heataha. Om, Aum, is this creational force and breaking out the three sounds into its creational The heart grounds what it wants. This is the law of attraction. We get to choose whether it's satisfying or not. We give it the meaning. Om, Bur, Bhuva, Svaha. We give it the meaning. We can give it a meaning of bliss. We can give it a meaning of satisfaction. We can give it this meaning. It's easy. This is all what this Ananda Chakra is about. The ease and joy and satisfaction. We can make everything easy. We can make everything joyful. We can make everything satisfying. Kisihino to oryo to Torah. Ni ta aryata anna ta Torah. With the practice, any practice, the practice of reinforcing our mind, of the positivity, of the ease, of the joy, of the satisfaction. Another part of that license plate was 7175. 7 is alignment. In tarot, 7 is the chariot. The will. Your will. Which is what practice is doing. By continuing to practice, you are focused on your will of bringing about feeding your success. That's it. That's it. And if we don't get down on ourselves when we don't follow through on a practice, it's okay. We needed to self-soothe instead of practice. Okay? And Vyapini, the soul star chakra, this opening at the top of our Merkaba. Nam, or na, or ne. Whether we want to in embodying it, or aim, eng, how about eng? Nang, nang. It does not matter how we say it. It's the vibration of allowing that which we want to bring to us. By allowing the vibration that our true self, our heart, wants to bring to us. It's the vibration of our true authentic self. And allowing it to come through, regardless of what blockers we have, regardless of what karma we think we have. This Om is simply a return to the present moment. That is it. It's a return to the present moment where no karma exists, where no past exists, where no future exists, where there is only total acceptance, where no ego exists. There's no sense of self. You are yourself then. You are all of consciousness in the present moment. Where there is no judgment. The present moment is this highest source of consciousness. It's what every concept of God is. This present moment. Us feeding this presence. Us feeding our ease and joy and satisfaction. Feeding our success, the success of our soul, the success of our manifestations, the success of our vibration, the satiety, the satisfaction of our vibration in any moment, in every moment, no matter how frustrating it might be, no matter how fearful it might be. No matter how emotionally painful it might be. Niyatata arhatata. No matter how grief-filled it may be. Kasuhutari ashana utoryuto. By denying our feelings, by denying this present moment, we're denying ourselves. We're denying the experience. We're denying the learning. When we listen to a heart, what's truly going to bring your heart satisfaction? Think of that. Maybe either now or at the end of the video. Write down what's going to bring your heart satisfaction, fulfillment, joy, bliss. Don't think about what's possible or what's impossible. Think about what's going to bring you joy. Write it down. The 7 is your will. The 1 is unity and Hari, the both, it's the form, bringing your will, the first 7, into union, into oneness with the second 7, God's will, the will of the universe, the will of your inner being, however you want to see it. They're all the same thing. In the present moment, they're all the same thing. God's will, your will, the universe's will, your inner being's will, the will of the present moment. They're all come into alignment in satisfaction, in bliss, in ananda. Katita arahana okahatiyata artana hisoka atetati. And then the 5, as a human, throughout all change. 5 is about change. 5 punch is the 5 lower chakras of this physicality. The earth, the water, the fire, the air, and the akash, or the space in between. Neotora arkana hasakata. Throughout all the change of humanity, of our humanness, through conflict, through contrast, we can see it as contrast. We can see it as, I created it. We can see it as, I've experienced, I've learned, I'm satisfied. I did it. Nitoro katar. When you see the mess, you drop eggs, you drop a gallon. Patuka hartartikeskana atar. And they want to say that as well. I did that. I cracked a branch. I did that. I made this mess. And then when we clean it up, can we find the satisfaction? Can we find the ease? Can we find the joy? Nope. Yup. One of the houses I rented in St. Pete, over 2 months, I cleaned every square inch of every wall and every floor and every ceiling because I was not satisfied with its cleanliness. And instead of getting pissed that I had to do it, I'm going, what is my inner being in the universe trying to teach me from this? So I got into a meditative state, and I got into a focused state, and I accomplished the task. And after I got done with one section of a wall, I looked at it and I go, yeah, it's clean. And then I continued, and then I continued, and then a whole wall was done. And then 2 walls were done. And then 3 walls were done. And it didn't matter. I didn't look at how much was left to do. I didn't look at how dirty everything was. I looked at how successful I was. I looked at the meditative ability of doing the task, during the task. Sometimes I did take on a negative attitude. I acknowledged it. Sometimes I said the Reiki ideals, just for today. I shall not anger. I shall not worry. And be filled with gratitude. Dedicate myself to the work, this work of cleaning the wall. And I should be kind to all people. I didn't think about all the other people who didn't clean the wall. I didn't think about all the people who created the mess on the wall. I created this environment of satisfaction, of accomplishing a task, of focus, of ease and joy and satisfaction. And then I rode my bike somewhere, or did yoga, or went to the beach, or didn't matter. We each find our own way. We each have our own belief in how it's easy. We each have our own belief in what is satisfying. We each have our own belief in what is joyful. How we find that, how we create that, our determination, how we focus it to dragonflies. The spiritual, they transcend dimensions. They transcend timelines. Confirmation that you can do it. You can do it. You've already done it. You are always 100% successful. Alignment is simply getting on board with our inner being, its plan of what we wish to experience. Ants crawling on me, which reminds me of the Shine series in St. Pete. There's times that I'm in meditation and an ant's crawling on me and I'm just focused on the chanting, Om, Mani, Padme, Hum, and the breath. And I notice the ant. And then I focus back on my breath and the chant. And I laugh about it. So maybe a little light language now to bring it all home. 4141. Wish fulfillment. Based on our belief systems and how impossible we think our manifestations are. That's where hope and a wish come in. I want this. It will fulfill me. And I believe it to be near impossible. So I'm calling out the wish card. But this wish fulfillment, when we feed the success of our soul, when we feed the success of our mind, when we feed the success of our manifestations, whether it's through writing down what it is we wish to create, drawing what we wish to create, doing things that bring out our joy, finding the satisfaction, the completeness. That's all satisfaction is it's done. I feel complete. I feel good that it's complete. I'm okay with the result. Kriya. I'm okay with the result. Kasahana atur harsana ikiata. Katit karana hasuha. Shata atkarhi. Koro oro hota anihata. Shatanahi. Katuka ar kasha ahua. Nisa achuatiara na ako. Nata atare arshana ea. Yayaka atata harhane ehara. Hotora ora. Kashahana ekawa. Niti ariachahana asahea. Shatat karana hua. Ni ara anahasakoho. Chaye si tianena haruka. Nisa akahashi rada. Nata arhana akahayati. Shato ura. Kaya shana arwati. Nahaka aya atahata ara. Shiao kura harwana ekea. Nahar artahaya. Kata harhatia. Shoota arwakaya. Nika a. Shaya atuta arhana ekaha. Kuro ukanahea. Kisa anatia te ariana hakua. Shai ete harnaha. Hasuhineara hatara arana hataya radata. So oko or hatarata. As we breathe in ease. As we hold our breath and allow our inner being to excite the ease. As we breathe out this ease simply by shining our light and breathing out. And as we hold our breath and embody this ease simply by doing nothing. As we breathe in the joy. As we hold our breath and allow our inner being to excite this joy and reinforce this joy, as we do nothing, and then we breathe out and simply shine out our light and shine out our joy. And as we hold our breath and do nothing and allow our inner being to integrate this joy in our belief system, in our energetic field. And as we breathe in this satisfaction, and as we hold our breath and allow our inner being to excite this satisfaction by doing nothing, and then we simply breathe out and shine our light as we shine out our satisfaction by doing nothing. And then holding our breath with an empty set of lungs, allowing our inner being to embody this satisfaction by us doing nothing, by simply resting, by resting in our true nature. You are always 100% successful in everything that you do. As we give gratitude for our lives, as we give gratitude to our breath, as we give gratitude to the law of attraction, for what we send out is what we get back. It is that easy. It is that joyful. It is that satisfying. Sikota hatanahaya roto oka.